Well, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and it's always a delight to have with us Bryan Platt. He's the Executive Director of the Jackson County Right to Life, and he's a hawk when it comes to all of these issues concerning the life of the unborn. And we have a lot to talk about today, so roll with us here and stay on top of it. But as we speak, Bryan, Cecile Richards is testifying before a House hearing, and I've seen some of the opening comments, a little bit here and there, which is, you know, most of the people on the committee will make an opening speech and kind of position themselves. But she's in the hot seat today, so we'll see what happens.
So are you saying that it's best for the viewers to turn over to C-SPAN and watch that instead of, okay.
No, actually in some ways it's a subterfuge, and we'll talk about that. So be listening to us. Stay with us right now, because we have a lot of very important information. Let me tell you, parents, you need to really, really pay attention to what we have for you today. But first of all, you have a lot of events lined up. Give us the latest.
Okay, so we do, Perry. This is an exciting time for the Right to Life movement locally and even nationally. So we have 3 events coming up in the next week and a half.
Wow.
So the first is today. From noon to 1 is our info-picket, downtown Medford, corners of 8th and Central, where we stand on the corners there with information regarding the funding component of Planned Parenthood. And RCC is in. That's for those of you who are excited about doing the Saturday thing, we've got that covered too. But for today, because RCC is in, we want to be down there. We want to engage those students in dialogue. It's a busy traffic day down there at the corner. So 1 hour, we've got plenty of signs. We'd encourage you to all come down and participate in that.
8th and Central today at noon, and then the next one coming up.
Okay, so the next one is an annual event. It's called the Life Chain.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, how many times we just get, I'm talking about myself here, you know, you just get caught up in all the activity and say, I forgot to pray. And so this is an hour, roughly an hour, hour and a quarter, that's set aside to publicly pray for God to intervene and stop abortion in the United States and worldwide for that matter. So that happens Sunday the 4th, this coming Sunday. We meet in the Blue Sky Plaza parking area there. We have very specific signs that are dedicated to this issue, to this event. And so we'll have those to hand out to people, and it's at the corner of Biddle and McAndrews, about the busiest intersection in town.
Right.
And it's rain or shine, but you know, it sounds like the weather is going to bless us this time. So anyhow, love to have you all there. Ask your pastor to announce it at church on Sunday. It's an hour and 15 minutes of prayer, seeking the Lord's intervention in the issue of abortion.
And that's at 1 o'clock.
It's at 2:45 to 4 p.m. 2:45 to 4 p.m. Corner of Biddle and McAndrews.
All right. And then you got another national Planned Parenthood.
Correct. So this is the consortium of Right to Life organizations, national Right to Life organizations, that put on the one on August 22nd. So this is the second of these national Planned Parenthood pickets. They had 68,000 and counting participants nationwide on August 22nd. So we're hoping to beat that this year. Okay. And so that one will also be at the corner of 8th and Central, but we have aligned the time to the 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Medford's event. So instead of 10 to 12, trying to confuse people, but the national event was promoted as a 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. thing. So that's what Medford is doing at the corner of 8th and Central, Saturday the 10th of October. Now, Joe County is sticking with the 10 to 12 thing. You know, it is what it is. So they're meeting at the courthouse. Josephine County, you guys are meeting at the courthouse, 10 to 12. Medford, we're meeting at the corner of 8th and Central, 9 to 11. Right. We bought about 50 more signs. We ran out of signs, Perry.
Wow.
We ran out of signs.
And that's something.
Oh, it was
the
a total
last time
blessing.
we did that down there on that Saturday, I don't know how many. I think somebody said they stopped counting at people who had signs, which was 180?
Yeah, 175 is what I heard, and then someone else said, no, it was 200. But, you know, people, and that's part of it, is it's a 2-hour event. If you can make it for an hour,
half hour, 20 minutes, whatever it takes.
That's great. And you get down there and then you don't want to leave.
Yeah.
You know, there's a camaraderie. You know, there's a solidarity that when you're down there and all of a sudden you see, wow, I'm not the only one that feels this way.
I walked all 4 corners in one intersection and 4 in the other intersection, and then up and down both sides of the street just to see who was participating, and it was wonderful. Families, children, everything. So that'll be coming up on the 10th of October.
Boy, and I hit the families and children thing again. I mean, if there's ever a time where children need to be exposed to this stuff, and You know, there can be some discussion about whether they really understand where they're at, but frankly, from an image standpoint, ladies and children, you know, we get criticized down there on these noon picket things during the weekday. Here's 5 of us old white men standing down there, and a woman goes by and says, "You don't have a uterus." You know, and there's some great comebacks for that. You know, don't get me wrong, but it's true. You know, and in reality, the men are the ones that are empowered by abortion. They got no responsibility. You know, they're sexual predators. You know, but there's something in the public's perception about having women participate in these things, which kind of diffuses the anti-woman concept of the argument.
So today, 12 to 1. Coming up on the live chain, October 4th, this coming Sunday. That'll be from 2:45 to 4. And then mark it on your calendar, October 10th. That's the Saturday, the following Saturday, downtown Medford, 9 to 11. All right, before we get too far and lose time here, you want to bring us up to date what's happening at Crater High School. What's happening?
Okay, so we have a new, well, I don't know that it's new, but we're now aware of it, a new program at Crater High School called Revolution. And it's another in this model that Planned Parenthood has of these enticing programs focused or geared towards getting the kids involved. And they use I was going to read some of these terms that they use in their promotional thing: powerful, relevant, much to contribute, empower, positive change, community outreach. They use all these terms that make it exciting, and you know, it sounds like fun, and have fun with your peers, be a leader in your community. And I have no doubt that some of the program has potentially positive effects, but the overarching thing is, we're from Planned Parenthood and we're here because we care about you. And so next year it's another program. Oh, and the year after that, there's this program. And they go through their lives, their school years, and they come to trust Planned Parenthood because they have all these programs. Clearly they've demonstrated their concern for these kids that might be kind of sitting on the sidelines saying, gee, I don't really fit in here. And they're clients for life at Planned Parenthood. And they have, I mean, all you have to do is talk to some of these kids that come out of RCC that have been through this whole public school system, and they defend like that. They're defending Planned Parenthood. And I'm the first one to say to the volunteers at Planned Parenthood, I'm sure there are plenty that volunteer at Planned Parenthood clinics all across the United States that are deeply and sincerely convinced that they're there to help those children. They have no idea of the higher up mucky mucks that come up and conceptualize these programs, implement these programs, understanding that down the road, it's the bottom line.
Well, let me ask you this, Brian. With all the attention given to Planned Parenthood these days, especially of what the ultimate goal of Planned Parenthood is, abortion, and then now selling of these baby body parts, it's a money machine.
It's money.
That why would a school district embrace Planned Parenthood at all until all of this is settled? Why isn't all of this at least suspended? Why can you trust Planned Parenthood to come in with Revolution or any other program and call it safe?
The schools are mandated by state law to offer sex education, the school-based health centers, and I don't know all of the nuances of it, but the schools are taxed, and I don't mean financially taxed. Their personnel are taxed, their time is taxed, their facilities are taxed. They need help. I don't fault the schools per se for saying, how do we get this done? You know, the state requires us to get this done. How do we do it? Oh, one of the so-called partnerships that the state mandates, they call community nonprofit organizations. They have a whole list of possible sources of support for these various and sundry programs, and one of them is community nonprofits. There we go. And by the way, Planned Parenthood, we just happen to have the people that'll come out to your school. Oh, and we have the program that will fulfill this requirement for you. And away we go. So I think as much as anything, it's out of necessity. Obviously, it's discouraging to those of us who understand the bigger picture of what Planned Parenthood is all about. But from a school standpoint, and I might just throw this out. We talked about this about a year ago. Some of these programs are so cleverly designed, or I'm not sure exactly what the term is, but you talk about subterfuge. The teen outreach program in District 9, the administration, bless their hearts at Eagle Point, did not even know that was a Planned Parenthood program. It came to them under this acronym, the Northwest Coalition for Adolescent Health. Oh, this is a program from the Northwest Coalition for Adolescent Health. What is the Northwest Coalition for Adolescent Health? It's Columbia-Willamette Planned Parenthood, it's Planned Parenthood of Southwestern Oregon, and it's Northwestern Planned Parenthood. That's all it is. It's three, but they renamed themselves, and again, I don't find fault with the school district. Wow, it's very similar. In fact, it's almost like akin to this Revolution program. Same concept, community leadership, community involvement. There's actually a requirement for community service, but at the same time have fun. Oh, did I mention sexuality, sexuality, sexual? Did I mention that? So here I am, a hormone and crazed kid, and I see all this, and then the word sexual comes up about here. Our vision is to provide accurate, unbiased, useful sexuality education. This is the Revolution application to end ignorance, promote tolerance, and improve communication between teens and the important people in their lives. Now, they didn't say parents. Yeah. They said important people in their lives.
I'm a little over on time here.
Sorry, I get carried away.
No, all right. So the bottom line here is Crater High School, be aware of the Revolution program. Parents, can their kids opt out?
Parents can opt their kids out.
Okay.
Parents can opt their kids out.
All right. Crater High School, the program is called Revolution. You may want to educate yourself on that and ask yourself, do you want your kids to opt out? Well, let us take a quick break. We'll come back. It goes on into other school districts and other concerns as well. Bryan Platt's here with us from Jackson County Right to Life. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Paulina, and I work at theDove TV. Did you know that when you support theDove TV, you have a profound impact, not only in our community, but around the world? It's your continued support that takes the inspiration and hope in the programs we produce and makes them available to the thousands of people who are watching these videos online every week. Help bring encouragement and hope to our valley and beyond by making a secure online donation today at our website, thedove.us.
Okay, we're back with one of the great warriors here, Bryan Platt. He's the executive director of the Jackson County Right to Life, and updating us on some very important issues as it relates to your children in some of these schools and some of the programs that are being offered. You got to realize that some of these things are just incredibly disguised, and we're trying to enlighten you. But let's kind of pause here just for a moment, because I've been waiting for this announcement. And Bryan, bring us up to date, because this is the biggie, and I'm going to ride this horse until its last
Bless
breath.
Your heart, Barry. Bless your heart. We are just in the infancy of beginning the effort to place on the November 16 ballot another initiative petition which seeks to ban the use of taxpayer money to fund abortions in the state of Oregon.
So we're bringing it back, and I really hope and pray that all of us get involved and that you gracefully approach the leadership of your church to get behind this petition drive. We have got to get this on the ballot.
Okay, so here's what has changed. To begin with, third time, we have all of the interest in Planned Parenthood. And clearly, our effort focuses a lot of its attention on Planned Parenthood, and we'll get to a graph about what kind of money the state of Oregon has spent on abortions through the use of taxpayer money. We have a presidential, which always has more interest than the midterm election cycle. We have a database of 98,000 signatories from the last effort at the petition, and of course our goal, it's a constitutional amendment, so our goal is 117,000, I mean more or less, 117,000 signatures. So we have this immediate database of 98,000. And I think significantly we have a much reduced timeline to get this done in. Last time, I think one of the biggest stumbling blocks we had was apathy and complacency.
We kept
even
kicking the can down the
We
road.
did, and people got to the point where we had people signing the petition 4 times. Bless their hearts.
Yeah.
Their heart was in the right place, but we can't remember anymore at our age whether we signed this or that. So by the time this whole thing plays out, we won't see signature sheets probably until March.
Okay.
They have to be in early July. So we have a very defined window in which to gather these signatures, and we have several months right now to get ourselves collectively organized for this effort. So I think that's a big thing, and I think it's a positive thing. And how we're going to begin this, Perry, is Saturday the 10th at the National Planned Parenthood Picket event downtown in Medford. The Secretary of State's office requires an initial 1,000 what they refer to as sponsorship signatures. And those signatures tell the Secretary of State's office that there is a valid reason to go ahead and pursue the process of getting this initiative petition on the ballot. So we are going to use that event in Bend, in Salem, in Portland, in Eugene, in Roseburg, in Grants Pass, in Medford to collect those 1,000 sponsorship signatures. So we're working on getting, it's a specific form, we're working on getting those to the leaders, the point people of all those various communities who are going to hold the October 10th picket. We're asking the people that come to that picket on Saturday the 10th to be part of that sponsorship signature gathering effort.
All right. Wow. All right. We'll keep you updated on this as this is all coming down the pike. And believe me, you may get sick and tired of me talking about this, but I'm asking you to get involved, and I'm asking you now to maybe volunteer in your church to head up a committee that will go for the signatures when the time is ready. Talk to your pastor about it. Take on the responsibility. It's legal for you to do. We'll talk about that later. All right, what else you got here?
Okay,
we got a ton of information. We're not
well,
gonna
there
get
is,
through it all.
as usual, OregonLifeUnited.org.
Wow.
OregonLifeUnited.org is the website for the new ballot measure.
Okay.
It's initiative petition number 61. I got the notification from the Secretary of State's office. The paperwork is filed. So we're on board for signature gathering for the sponsorship signatures on October 10th. Be there so we can get your signature on that and get past that first hurdle.
Okay.
Okay. So we need to go back and review our events today from 12 to 1 downtown, corner of 8th and Central, our info picket for Planned Parenthood.
Good.
1 hour. We'll take you for 10 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour. Love to have you there. The National Life Chain event Sunday, October 4th at the corner of McAndrews and Biddle, 2:45 to 4 p.m. We have signs for that. It is a time of public prayer. It's not a protest. And Saturday, October 10th, from 9 to 11 in Medford, from 10 to 12 in Josephine County. The National Planned Parenthood protest and the kickoff for ballot measure 61 to stop the use of our taxpayer money to kill babies. Perry, 45,000 Oregon babies have been killed with the use of our tax money in the last 12 years. $20.1 million of Oregon tax money has been spent killing babies in Oregon in the last 12 years. We need to stop that. This ballot measure focuses directly on that.
$20.1 million over the last 12 years killed how many babies?
45,000.
In the state of Oregon.
In the state of Oregon.
Your tax dollars.
Oh, the chart. Do you have time for the chart?
Always got time for this chart. This is absolutely stunning, this chart. I don't know if people, I'll try to hold it up for this camera here. Let me get it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oop, over that way. Look at the very bottom. Explain this chart quickly.
So Oregon ranks at the very bottom, number 50, with 0 regulations. And we have talked about this. We're actually negative. We should be like 51 or 52 because we've passed legislation that helps empower abortionists by not requiring any notification to the parents of minor children of any age from giving permission to have all kinds of different things done, sexual health things done to them without your parents' permission. It's time we put some kind of reasonable restrictions on abortion in Oregon and get off of the bottom of that chart.
Wow. I'm just stunned of all the opportunities that has now presented itself. I will say one thing. I believe that the Planned Parenthood videos, and by the way, there's still a few more to come out.
There are.
And I can't help but think that that's being strategic in when they release them and what the contents are. But I believe it's God giving us the opportunity to reinsert ourselves into this argument and to stop the killing of the unborn. And I want to say to pastors, this is not political. This is just not political. This is totally spiritual. Deuteronomy says, I set before you life and death. Choose life. John 10:10 says that I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly, but the enemy comes to steal, to destroy, and to kill. This is very much a biblical issue. So as this petition drive heats up after the first of the year and is organized, pastors, let me encourage you, give the opportunity to somebody in your church to manage. Maybe you have a civic committee person who does these things. It's totally legal for you to do this in the church, right?
It absolutely is, and you can begin that right now if your heart desires you to sign up and volunteer for this. OregonLifeUnited.org. There's a volunteer button there. We can begin the organization of this, and primarily it starts with the church. Doing presentations in the church will be available. Be the point person for your church leadership. They don't have time. Regardless of the fact that it's a priority thing with respect to God's Word, they're maxed. They've got more than their hands full. So let's take that off of their table and let's do it for them. It's just a no-brainer to me.
Okay. Don't forget, coming up at noon today, 12 to 1, downtown Medford, 8th and Central. Coming up this Sunday, the Life Change, which is a prayer event. And let me encourage you to come after church at 2:45. Meet there at the corner of Biddle and McAndrews, sorry. Let's show support. And then, of course, the big national event, again, is coming up October 10th, which is next Saturday, a week from this Saturday. And that'll be from 9 until 11. We had, I don't know, several hundred people there on the last go-around on a Saturday. Let's do that again.
Oh, let's do it again. It was an exciting time, you bet.
Well, Bryan, this is amazing. And by the way, parents, again, at Crater High School, ask your kids if they're being asked to participate in a organization, or I should say a movement called Revolution.
It's an extracurricular program called Revolution.
And what's happened at 549 quickly?
All into school-based health clinics, which can be administered and run by Planned Parenthood personnel.
Really? So they're in all the 549?
549C was the recipient of a large amount of money to get that going. We have almost every school district now in Jackson County. #1 county in the state of Oregon for school-based health clinics.
Sponsored by Planned Parenthood?
Well, partnering with Planned Parenthood, potentially, at least, yeah.
Thank you for being on it, because I would misquote it, so thank you for your details. All right, let's get involved. This is the announcement. The petition's coming back, and this is our opportunity. Let's get her done. Thank you, Bryan.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll be right back.